Now
Yeah.
have Terran has more bases than Zerg, and even when you're on the same bases, that's bad for a Zerg. You would rather be on much more. But right now, Terran's actually ahead, so this is a really bad position by our Zerg player. He's really not doing much damage with those Mutalisks. When you make Mutalisks, you want to do economic damage. You want to harass. You want to keep your Terran opponent in his base. You cannot just let Terran send wave after wave of army after you, especially when he's got such a thriving economy right now. The Zerg simply can't hold off that many attacks at once. And even though he's winning these battles, he's taking a lot of economic damage, and the Terran is not at all.
Yeah, I think the fact that Terran went +1 on a base and actually sniped one of Zerg bases makes like the biggest difference. Even though there was an army trade, both armies clashed, and even though the Zerg came out on top with the muta count, which is actually very. Oh my gosh! I just realized the Zerg has a full tab of mutalisks, and so that's actually a very scary army. I know that he has a lot of Marines, but the more mutalisks that this Zerg player has is the more effectively and efficiently he can harass.
I'm really concerned. I mean, like, still Terran is ahead, and this is a really, really scary push right now. But if he gets good bailing hits on those Marines, it's the oh, looks like he's gonna pick off a tank at the back there. The Mutalisks are gonna do tons of damage. Thor getting good shots off, almost kill a pack of like 4. But oh my goodness, we have 4 Broodlords being morphed in right now.
Yeah, what the Terran is trying to do is trying to bait the Zerg army into running into the line of the tanks, but I think he needs to move up his tanks a little bit farther, probably
Yeah,
to
I
where the
agree.
top of the ramp is. He's right now like midway up the ramp, and
He is stimming his Marines so hard right now. The Baileys are rolling in, but they only
don't
hit the
go into the
Thors.
Thor. The Thor will soak up.
Oh
Oh,
my
five
goodness.
Broodlords just got morphed, and so those will be rolling in and taking out these tanks very, very easily.
The SCVs for I mean, the drones for Zerg are so limited, and the Marines are doing tons of damage, but there's enough units to clean it up. The Broodlords are going to pick up these 4 tanks for free. This is a huge cleanup again by the Zerg, but he is still behind economically. He knows he keeps destroying these Terran armies. The Terran armies are really hard to remanufacture. He should drone up, and make another 20 drones, and he will be in such a good position right now.
What needs to happen? Well, I don't know actually. If the Zerg can keep winning armies or winning battles, then the economic lead that Terran is gonna have might not be as important because if you can't win battles, then there's no point of having a good economy.
Here come the Broodlords shooting into the mineral line. Vikings come in, but there's so many mutas to clean those up. And this is going to be an SCV slaughter. Zerg is still winning, but he's down in supply. Vikings coming out. There's still not enough Vikings, enough mutas to pick it off. But there's now lots of Marines, and Broodlords need to take down those Marines, and they do, but the Mutalisks are going to die. He needs to reinforce that Mutalisk count, because the Vikings are going to absolutely tear apart the Broodlords. 4 Vikings being made at a time right now.
Two
He
Thors are
really
gonna be
needs some
cleaning up these
anti-air.
mutalisks very easily, but however, he's trying to do a good macro system or micro system by picking off the Vikings with the Mutalisks and picking off the Thors with the Broodlords, and he's doing a very efficient job. But I'm worried about these Broodlords. They're gonna get picked off eventually by the overwhelming. Or he just keeps making more Marines and Vikings, and as we know, Vikings are only. Or Vikings are good in low numbers, but Mutalisks only do well in large numbers.
I totally agree with that. And there goes the last Broodlord. He is going to get that command center. But you look at the minerals that were left, not a big mining base. He should have really gone for maybe the 3rd or even the 4th that is really has the main mining going on.
There's a pack of Marines moving into the east side of the 5th expansion of Zerg's base, and it's going to get picked off
Oh
very
my
easily.
goodness.
These Marines are 2-3, so these Marines are pretty freaking beefy.
And all those drones are going to die. And this is looking better and better for the Terran. He didn't really that attack was good, but it was cleaned up by the Terran, and he lost really a non-mining base. So Zerg has suffered so much economic damage right now that the Zerg is again behind in bases, and he's just doesn't have an economy to support the army he needs to make and remaking to handle this giant Terran army that is coming right out of the front.
What I would like to see is I would like to see these mutalisks run around and just look for bases to snipe off. For example, there's two bases over here. One's almost being done being constructed, and the other one doesn't have anything being mined. So he could come over, pick off this orbital command, and pick off this other orbital command, and ensure a little bit more time just being inside or being in this game. A fifth and a sixth is being thrown down for Zerg.
I totally agree. He's not producing Thors by the 4. Whenever you see that, he's got Terran vehicle weapons level 1 upgrade, level 2 being upgraded. This is a really scary looking Terran army. Vikings, Marines, he just doesn't have any medevacs though, so he's only going to be able to use stim. A problem of him that he has had in this game is too much stimming. His Marines are going to die really easily. But the big deal is the Banelings. Banelings have been ineffective up till this point in the game. He really needs some really good Baneling kits to get back into this game.
What I'd really and he picks off so many of these Vikings and gets away pretty much unscathed. That is a huge win for Zerg. A huge swarm of Banelings and Zerglings are going to come around, but I just don't think that's enough Zerglings. If he can catch this Terran army off guard, then it'd be good, but there's so many tanks.
He really needs some really good Baneling hits right now.
And he's not going to get them. All the Banelings just died.
Oh my goodness, the Banelings get focused down by the tanks. None of them hit at all, and the Mutalisks get absolutely destroyed by those Thors. And Clicktowin has left the game.
That was a really good game, but overall, the Zerg just needed to harass more. He just needed to have more harassment, have better vision, and counter-track. He never counter-attacked.
I totally agree. He didn't harass at all. He just literally took whatever the Terran was gonna give him. He wasn't gonna try to get in his way or try to put him on tilt or try to delay his strategy. This Terran had a strategy, and normally in a game something goes wrong. That's just how StarCraft is, and the better player will adapt to that. But as a Zerg playing a Terran, you cannot just let the Terran do whatever the hell he wants to. The Mutalisks did not harass at all, and the Banelings were not well controlled. He fell behind economically, didn't make enough drones, and once you do all those things, even when you do win battles, it if you're at the point in the game where the Terran can remake an army faster than you, you're pretty fucked.
Another thing that you failed to mention is that if you look at the upgrades on the Zerg army, the Terran army just had better upgrades all in all. The ground forces, 2 carapace and 0 claws, and the Mutalisks had 1 upgrade I think by the end of the game, but um, the Marines that are 3-3 are so good. Once you get 3-3 Marines, if you're not up to par with the upgrades, the Marines are just gonna shred through everything. I think one 3-3 Marine can take out like 2-0-0 Zerglings without even getting below half health, especially with Stim.
I think right now though it was 3-2 for the Marines going back. The Sea Chicks had 1 upgrade. The Zerglings were 2-2, and the Mutas were 0-1. They just fell behind Zerg just fell behind in almost everything. This was such a Terran stomp, and it was very well played by our Terran player.
I agree. I think that's all for this game. Anything left to say?
No, that's it. Thanks guys for watching, and keep sending in those replays.
See ya.